Stephen with LS Wild. Don't shoot off your pack. There's too many problems with it. First of all, you're going to have different surfaces within the pack. Here's a hard plastic. Here's a square, flat object at a slope. Here's something soft. So depending upon where I put my rifle, it's going to recoil and bounce if it's on a hard surface, and it's also going to tend to move around. Even though I can hold it perfectly still for the shot on recoil, it's going to exploit that weakness. It'll be much harder for me to find natural point of aim on a hard surface as well. You might be able to muscle the rifle into position, but you're going to be holding it, muscling it there. Natural point of aim is going to be way off because as soon as you shoot, the recoil is going to exploit that if you're shooting off of something hard. Maybe it's something a little bit softer, but it still has an angle or a movement to it. Again, it's going to exploit it, going to be different. And if you move to something soft, that could be a little bit better. If you're able to get that soft spot, that consistent spot, then that will be good. Sometimes the soft spot is too bouncy, too squishy because it's a puffy jacket or a pillow that hasn't been compressed down enough. And so you get a little bit of bounce. The other thing is you've got straps on the bag that might catch the magazine well or might catch ARCA or Picatinny rails or swivel sling studs. When you catch on something, it is going to affect the precision of your shots. You're going to open up your groups in the field, so don't shoot off of your pack directly because you're not going to get the consistency necessary to have repeatable, accurate, and precise shots. But there's a solution, and it's shoot off of a bag on top of your pack. What that does is it conforms to the irregularities underneath, and then the bag will conform to your rifle. So when you place the rifle pointed towards your target on the bag, you immediately have established a natural point of aim for the rifle. And at that point, recoil will be straight in line with the bag. And that provides exactly what you want: support and the consistency of the bag between the pack, whether it's a hard fill, a sand fill, or a softer foam fill with it is much lighter. It's going to provide the same impulse when the rifle recoils. And so using the same bag over the pack is going to provide you consistency, and you'll be able to make those long-range shots much easier and effectively. So throw a bag like this over your pack, shoot off of it, and you will shrink your groups. There's no other way around it because you'll make a natural point of aim easy to acquire. You'll provide much more stability and support for your rifle, and you'll have a consistent recoil impulse off of the bag when the rifle fires. Many of you will be shooting with more traditional stocks, stocks that have a rounded, tapered, angled forearm, such as this stock. And as you can see, I've left off the scope just so you have a little bit better visual. This is much easier to roll and to get into a natural point of aim. However, you still have some of the same problems with the density of the fill and the movement of the rifle under recoil, especially with a smaller forend. You're imposing the same amount of force onto a smaller area, and so it is actually going to react much more dynamically than a larger rifle forend that has more contact with the items in the pack. But regardless, even if you're on something hard like a plastic container inside your pack, you have the same exact problems. It is nicer that you can roll it. You're not fighting the rifle as much. But if you do have to roll it, you're still outside of natural point of aim. A rounded forend, it's not going to be quite as difficult to force the rifle into position, but you still have the same problem that the rifle is forced into that position, and it can easily move and slip and slide in different directions because it's not caught in a channel. That's why with a rounded forearm, you get all of the same benefits because then it will glide over the bag and you'll be able to pick your spot and get natural point of aim as you want. If the base is stiff enough and will support the bag, turning it sideways can allow you to get even more support for the stock. So turning it sideways again, I can, if I'm going to hold the bag or hold the rifle in any way, hold over the scope, this provides a lot of support for the forend in multiple directions. Having a traditional type forearm that is tapered, rounded, and angled is just the same with the use of a bag. You can get all of the same benefits as the stock will glide under recoil on top of the bag. The density of the fill is going to be consistent shot to shot, and you will enjoy much greater precision and have a lot more confidence making the shots. With the Triple S pillow, you really can't get much more stability for the forend of a rifle in a field condition. True, you can use a bipod, but depending upon what the bipod feet are on, the angle of the bipod, is it on rocks? Is it on a tree stump? Is it on gravel? Is it in sand? Is it in dirt? Is it in mud? Those are all considerations that are going to affect the way that the bipod moves under recoil. However, if you put your pack down, you've now isolated the ground and whatever the conditions are from the ground with the pack. And then once I put the pillow on top of the pack, now I've isolated the conditions of the pack to the rifle. And now I have a perfect base and support, providing natural point of aim, great recoil management, and all I need to do at this point is move to the rear of the rifle and execute the balance of the shot. This is why you should ditch your bipod, use your pack with a bag on top. You'll save weight, get lots more uses out of this, and improve your precision shooting.